No-look pitch to Troutman. He's got room to the left sideline. What a play from the sophomore quarterback. Seabreeze High School football in Volusia County is brought to you by Drone 360,
And here come the Hawks.
by Wolves Realty, and the Daytona Beach Resort. Welcome everyone to Municipal Stadium here in lovely Daytona Beach, Florida for tonight's matchup between the the Spruce Creek Hawks and the Seabreeze Sandcrabs. Hello everyone, I'm Nick Gimbel alongside Chance Dyson for week 4 of high school football. We're back to Friday night lights. Last Thursday night, Seabreeze picked up a 56-0 win against the Atlantic Sharks. Last Friday, Spruce Creek got handed their second loss of the season by DeLand, 30-24.
Right, Nick, and Seabreeze is looking for another win here. They are actually 8-6 against Spruce Creek since 2004, and there is a lot of sophomore power here tonight, Nick. We've got Blake Boda last week, 5 of 6 for 109 yards, threw a little over 20 yards average, 3 touchdowns, 2 passes, and the other one he used his legs.
The other powerful sophomore from last week was Eli Campbell. He had 1 tackle for a loss and had 2 of the 3 turnovers forced by the Seabreeze defense, both of them interceptions. But the real big threat from last Thursday was a senior, number 2.
Amir Brown, Nick, that's right, the workhorse, had 5 of 8 touchdowns for Breeze, averaged a little over a first down every rush, 15 rushes, 154 yards, 5 touchdowns. Looking for a big game out of him tonight.
A massive performance. Amir Brown had over half of the offensive scoring from the Seabreeze Sandcrabs last week. 8 touchdowns scored, 56-0 win over Atlantic. Amir Brown had 5 of them. The Seabreeze Sandcrabs won the coin toss, have elected to receive the kickoff in the second half. So they have deferred, and the Spruce Creek Hawks will receive the kickoff. Junior Mac Shumento, the shoe, the right foot, is going to try to send this right to left across your computer screen. We thank you for joining us here, not on our usual spot. We are joined by all of you watching at home on the Seabreeze Football Booster Club Facebook live stream. We thank all of you for joining us. And this kickoff is brought to you by Marikai Nail Spa. You deserve that beauty. Seabreeze in another set of new uniforms, light gray tops with red pants, kicking this ball in a right to left direction. Spruce Creek in their away white tops with black pants, letting that ball go out the back of the end zone, and they will take over on the left side of the field, moving in a right direction against the wind. This is probably the windiest afternoon into evening after a lot of rain that we've had throughout the day. A lot of wind moving in a westward direction towards the sunset, and Spruce Creek elected to go into that wind to start. What do you think of that, Chance?
Nick, we don't know much about Spruce Creek as it stands right now outside of the loss they came off of last week, but I mean, we could see anything right now. Who knows who their kicker is at this point? They could either just be saying, okay, we're not worried about which way the wind is, wind can change at any time, or they don't have a kicker that they could trust to put the ball through the uprights.
Senior quarterback number 8, Logan Garcia, in for Spruce Creek. He gets the handoff complete. Looks like Cecile Wilson, number 1, gets that immediate handoff and picks up an immediate 13-yard gain for a first down and 10 at the 33-yard line. Big first play from the Hawks.
Nick, just great blocking here by the entire Creek offensive line. They look really good. They came prepared for this Seabreeze defense. They know the potential that they have, so I think that they're really prepared here.
Garcia, the handoff again, and forcing his way through tacklers is Wilson again. A couple of seniors teaming up for the first 2 plays of the game for Spruce Creek. Brings up second down and about 5.
Perry Williams and Harold McKay on the stop. Second down and 5.
And it was the senior for Seabreeze, Harold McKay, getting that stop for second down and 5. Aaron Robinson moves to the left side of his senior quarterback. And the third straight handoff, but the Seabreeze defense does their job. A tackle for a loss brings up third down and about 8.
Once again on the run. Cole Brown on the stop for the Sandcrabs.
So Seabreeze Wilson, 3 straight plays for the Hawks, 3 straight handoff to Wilson.
Nick, I think that they expected to use a run-heavy game here. They saw last week that they could kind of, I believe, Atlantic. In the win versus Atlantic, Seabreeze kind of got picked apart in the run game. It wasn't, obviously noticed with a score of 56-0, but halfback screens has been a weakness. There have been a lot of weaknesses in the run game against this Seabreeze defense, and I really think they've tightened up tonight.
Seabreeze gave up a total of 55 yards last game against Atlantic, and this pass is going to be picked off. A big defensive interception for the Sandcrabs. They take over in offensive territory. And that is number 8, Dimitri Campbell, the junior, getting that interception, and a big first defensive stop for the home team.
Nick, great defensive play by Seabreeze there. And, hey, I have got to say, this is Dimitri Campbell. Great read by him. Incredible. Obviously, terrible throw by the quarterback, but read it like a book. Great. Obviously, it looked like they were trying to run a little bit of like a bubble screen there. And that Seabreeze defense picked it apart, read it perfectly. Great interception there. And
not enough can be said about the D-line of Seabreeze right there. There were 2 players in the pocket forcing Logan Garcia to the near side of the field, forcing that off-balance throw, causing the interception. And now Seabreeze is going to be hit with a false start, I believe. At least that's what the Hawks are protesting for. And penalties have been a factor for 3 straight games for Seabreeze. Last week against Atlantic, in a 56-0 win, they still had 7 penalties, and they gave up exactly as many penalty yards as they scored on the board. 56 yards were lost on 7 penalties last week for Seabreeze. And the first play, and that snap is going to be hit by the player in motion. I believe that was B.J. Glenn. If I'm reading the 44 correctly, there is a flag on the field. A lot happened on that play.
Right, Nick, I didn't really see where the flag came out at. I believe we're going to have an offsides here. Couldn't really tell, though. Seemed like the snap happened a little early.
So the Seabreeze player that was in motion went in between the center and the quarterback of Blake Boda. The snap hit him on the left hand as he was running through that pocket. And the ball came out loose on the ground, recovered by Spruce Creek. But the Seabreeze offense comes back out on the field, waiting for the discussion from the officials to be over. So immediately Seabreeze gets hit with a false start and a botched snap. Not great for the home team. And still a lengthy discussion here. Gives us a second to mention that tonight is Pink Out Night. October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Gives us great honor to bring everybody this game. It is Pink Out. If you look on the opposite side of the field, Spruce Creek cheerleaders have pink pom-poms. If you look across the field, different players have pink towels, pink socks. A lot of the fans in the student section have pink, are wearing pink on their shirts, on their shorts, on their shoes, whatever it may be. And here we get the call.
We have 2 fouls in the play. One is the dead ball foul. Dead ball foul and live ball foul. They're both going to be enforced. After the recovery, we have a delay of game on Spruce Creek. During the play, there was an illegal block by Seabreeze. Those penalties will be enforced and it will be first down.
So I think
so the turnover is going to be enforced based on the official signaling.
Well, I thought he said first down Seabreeze.
He did, but then he changed his momentum to say first down Spruce Creek. It's a dead ball foul and a live ball foul. Both are enforced. It does not create a replay of the down. Therefore, the turnover will remain enforced. So Blake Boda doesn't even get the ball in his hands before it's turned right back over to the Spruce Creek Hawks.
Right, Nick, and that's just a misread by the wide receiver on that play. Seemed like he started his movement a little too early. So I think that was more so why we saw the snap get bobbled there. Well, not even necessarily bobbled, just kind of hit the receiver.
So just a miscue on the timing allows Spruce Creek into offensive territory all the way to the 44-yard line, almost like their drive never ended. And again, just touching on October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I know I've got family listening in at home. My Aunt Sally battled breast cancer. She defeated it. She's been a great role model for running in different events to support and bring awareness to breast cancer. So I'm very happy to mention and honor her on this broadcast. My grandmother-in-law, Lois, she is currently battling breast cancer as Wilson again gets the 4th consecutive handoff.
Wilson on the run.
And not only breast cancer, but cancer in general. I know every single person listening and watching to this broadcast either knows someone who is affected by it or knows someone who has someone close to them affected by it. So it's awesome to see the Seabreeze Sandcrabs and the Seabreeze front office allowing something like a pink out. And we're looking at the student section down there again, socially distanced, but every single Seabreeze student that came out to watch this football game wearing some sort of pink memorabilia. So it's really, really great to see this as this pass is fluttered through the air and it's deflected and it will hit the turf. Great defensive coverage by the Seabreeze secondary.
Nick, I'm really surprised to not see an offensive pass interference there. That receiver had a hold of his jersey for at least 5 or so yards, just holding on to him because he knew that the ball was going to be pretty underthrown because of the pressure put on him. Really surprised to not see a call there.
All of this in a scoreless game with 8:48 left in quarter number 1. Technically, both teams have had a chance to be on the offensive side of the ball. Spruce Creek had their first drive end in an interception, and it only took a single play for Seabreeze to have a botched snap, leading Wilson to another first down run on the left sideline, almost Amir Brown-esque, running a long distance laterally. This time, though, Cecere Wilson was able to gain enough speed to get around that corner and pick up a first down for Spruce Creek.
Right, seems like he has a lot of lateral quickness. I think that he is going to be a big factor in this game tonight. I think we're going to have a flag.
There is a flag on the field, but I believe that flag has been picked up, so it'll be first down and 10 for Spruce Creek at the 29.
No, but Nick, the run game should be pretty heavy here on both sides tonight. I think that more than anything, to have lateral quickness on offense, like you said, Amir Brown-esque, it's like when you have Amir Brown in the backfield, you're expecting more of an east to west run rather than a north to south. And you're absolutely right when you say that, is that you see a lot of that in him. But that ability to turn the corner and get upfield is a big deal when it comes down to high school football, because if you get enough, obviously when you hand the ball off, you're going to see that they're running outside, without a doubt. So once they get outside, you can get enough defenders over there to stop them. So if you don't have that ability to turn the corner, you're going to get stopped every time. Again, just like Amir Brown.
Second down and 8 for the Hawks. Pass is complete to the right sideline. That is Kevin Minkler picking up a few extra yards at the end of the run.
Pass is complete to Kevin Minkler.
And it will bring up third down and about 5. Potentially third down and 4, depending on the spot. Now again, watching warm-ups and pregame festivities on the field, this is the first time that Seabreeze is facing a team with a solid kicker. So we are up against Aiden Lanier, number 44 for Spruce Creek. He was taking some long bomb kicks.
Full start on the offense. 5-yard penalty remains third down.
And it will be third down and 9 after that false start penalty to Spruce Creek. So this is now an instance where the Seabreeze defense not only has to protect against the third down conversion, but also understand that Spruce Creek is going to try to get within field goal range, not necessarily touchdown range.
Right, exactly. And the other thing about this, that's where Seabreeze's special teams has to connect. because with the wind being in their face, who knows how far he can kick against the wind, because they were obviously in the west end zone kicking with the wind. So
this ball goes through the air, and if it would have been caught, it would have been out of bounds anyways. Again, great coverage by the Seabreeze secondary.
Right, and being that he was kicking with the wind, that could be a big factor of how well he can kick the ball. I wasn't here for all of the pregame festivities, so I didn't see that. But knowing that he's got the wind in his face now, Seabreeze has got to do a great job on special teams, because, I mean, there goes Davis. You think of the Auburn kick six. Potential for that tonight with the wind being in their face.
Correction, Amandre Willis.
And Spruce Creek, recognizing that they're about halfway into Seabreeze territory, they're claiming this is 4-down territory. So 4th down and 9, and potentially the biggest play of the game so far. This pass is a short one into the backfield, caught by Wilson, smothered in the backfield by Seabreeze, tackle for a loss, and a turnover on downs.
Nick, and this must be what Coach Pat Brown went over in practice. There's the red laser. You see it on the screen. Half-back screens. Did a great job stopping there. Huge hit by Stephen Taylor coming out of the backfield.
And based on the first 2 drives by Spruce Creek, Seabreeze really just needs to double-team Sasir Wilson, who seems to be the favorite target of Logan Garcia. And we will see a water break with 6 minutes and 30 seconds left in quarter number 1. Still a scoreless game, but this is something that we were talking about before the game. This is, other than University High School, this is going to be another huge test for Seabreeze. This is potentially going to be the closest scoring-wise game that Seabreeze has seen so far.
Right, Nick. Both teams great on offense and defense. So clearly pretty even game here. You know, we've had, I mean, the first, 3 games, we had a blowout, and then another blowout, and then another blowout. And so it's kind of like, I'm excited to see a really close game here tonight and see what Pat Brown and see what the sophomore quarterback, Blake Boda, can encourage his offense to do in crunch time. And this is another thing we talked about. This is potentially a game for the shoe to steal. You really like him, his leg power. I enjoy watching him kick too, and especially knowing that he has the wind with him rather than against him changes a lot here towards the end and even towards halftime for this game.
Boda directing traffic from the pocket. Seabreeze takes over at their own 31-yard line. Little misdirection by the Sandcrabs, but it's picked up well by Spruce Creek. And taken down in the backfield is the Sandcrabs for a loss of about 4.
No gain on the play. Chris Lewis was running.
Great read there by Maverick Baranowski. Great read, great tackle by him. Junior linebacker.
Boda sends Brown in motion. The handoff is complete. Amir Brown with room to the right side and a good tackle from behind by the Hawks. Amir Brown picked up 10 yards, but on 2nd down and 15, that's only good for 3rd down and 5.
Nick, and here we see Amir Brown running head first instead of that east to west running ability. Looked really good there. The blocking by the offensive line was phenomenal. And if they have a lot of that in this game, Amir Brown will decide who wins this game.
Now, Atlantic High School is not the caliber of skill that Spruce Creek is, but what kind of confidence does Amir Brown have coming into this game against a better team than what we saw last week?
I could honestly imagine ungodly amounts of confidence, and I would, oh my goodness.
This pass is picked off on a deflection. Spruce Creek is going to go back the other way, back into offensive territory. And for the 2nd straight drive from Seabreeze, 2nd straight turnover. Pass went through the hands of the Seabreeze receiver, went right into the waiting Hawks secondary defender, and they're right back where they ended at the 31-yard line.
Nick, and turnovers are going to be a big factor in this game. I already can tell. We've got 5:09 left in the first quarter, but we've had, 2 turnovers so far, 2 or 3, I believe?
About 3. The first play from Spruce Creek was an interception.
Right.
The very first play on Seabreeze's first drive was
snap.
A bobbled snap turned into a fumble. And then that one, the first interception from Blake Boda. 3 turnovers this game, and again, Wilson the handoff, picking up significant yardage to about the 25-yard line, possibly spotted at the 26.
Right, and Pat Brown's got to encourage his defense here, or excuse me, encourage his offense to give the defense a break. You see, defense is not missing a lick. Offense just seeming to not be connected tonight. They've got to create a better connection on offense right now and nip it in the butt before the end of this first quarter if they expect to win this game. Because defense cannot carry this Sandcrab team to a win.
2nd down and 5. Wilson again the handoff, trying to get through the Seabreeze D-line. Picks up about 3 yards for 3rd down and 2. Just about 4 minutes left in quarter number 1. Still scoreless between the Seabreeze Sandcrabs and the Spruce Creek Hawks. Now again, looking back at the Spruce Creek start of this schedule, they started on September 18th, a 13-10 loss versus Mainland. So they started off with a loss of the distance of a field goal. Then they had their first victory of the season a week later against New Smyrna Beach High School, as Wilson, with the run, potentially gets to the 1st down marker, depending on the spot.
Wilson on the carry once again.
If he didn't make it, it's by a couple of blades of grass. And then again last week, as we mentioned, a 30-24 loss versus DeLand. And they are going to spot him close enough for a 1st down game. So Spruce Creek, 2 of their 3 games have been within a single score on the wrong side of that score. And then 1 blowout win 30-8 against New Smyrna Beach, as Logan Garcia hangs on to this one himself for a gain of about 3. Meanwhile, meanwhile, Seabreeze doesn't really have any experience in close games. So it's going to be interesting to see if this is a close game later down the line, 3rd, 4th quarter. It's going to be interesting to see how Seabreeze handles this.
Right, exactly, and that's where you have to see the maturity of Blake Boda and that young Seabreeze defense. Especially at this just about goal line stance, you have to see the maturity from them if they expect to win this game.
Garcia through the air, completed to Sebastian Moran. Moran fighting his way inside the 10-yard line. And it's going to be 1st down and goal at the 7-yard line.
J.J. Kelly and E.J. Williams on the tackle for the
That is the first through-the-air play that picked up positive yardage for the Hawks. Spruce Creek is threatening to get on the scoreboard first. No one in the backfield with Logan Garcia, and we may have a timeout.
Timeout. Seabreeze.
And Nick, from this timeout from Seabreeze, I'm starting to notice that this Creek offense really likes, not necessarily a no huddle, but a quick to the line. As where we saw last week, that kind of starting them 5 or 6 yards from the ball, Atlantic, and running up to the ball instead. These guys are on the line, fast, ready. They are on the ball. So I think that they're starting to catch the Seabreeze defense off guard, and you see as they get watered down there, again, that maturity level of that young defense is like, how do you control a fast-paced offense? Because so far you haven't really played one outside of your loss to University.
And Logan Garcia is a senior starting quarterback, so he's been around this program. And that's where that 4-year leadership, as opposed to Blake Boda's 2-year leadership, becomes a factor. Where Logan Garcia knows this offense, knows his targets, and knows how to operate his O-line to get everyone set without looking over to his coaching staff at the start of every play. And a great snuff out by the Seabreeze defense. And this is something that you see a lot of in college, with a star-studded running back getting so many carries and handoffs and plays back-to-back like we're seeing Cecere Wilson having. That leaves the option and potentially a gap for Logan Garcia. If he sees a hole in the D-line trying to take advantage, and this handoff again is going to be stopped by Seabreeze. Almost a victory formation there.
Right, yeah, I noticed that. It was kind of a deep, almost, well, it was a fullback run, obviously. They were giving the running back a little bit of a break. But low, under the center snap, which we don't see a lot of, But that was interesting. Yeah, almost victory formation. I'm not going to lie to you, Nick. I was a little bit confused. I'm going, are they kneeling the ball, or is this a quarterback sneak? I'm like, what's going on here?
I had to take a double take over to the sidelines to see what down we were on, maybe trying to get his kicker on the right, on whichever hash mark he feels comfortable on. But now Garcia in the pocket, this one long through the air, and we may see a little bit of pass interference here as a flag comes down in the end zone. I don't think that was a catchable ball, so I think this flag should be picked up. But we'll see what the officials say here with 1:10 remaining in a scoreless first quarter. As it stands right now, it's 3rd down and goal on the 6-yard line. And
Nick, I believe we're going to see a little bit more of a holding call here rather than a defensive pass interference. Oh, no, maybe not.
Half the distance to the goal, remains 3rd down.
So we've got a 3rd and goal here.
Half the distance to the goal brings up 3rd down and goal at the 3-yard line.
Crab Trap hits 3rd and goal. On your feet.
So again, here we see the handoff and a run and powering his way into the end zone. I believe that is number 13, Coman Cunnison. And Spruce Creek will get on the board first with 65 seconds remaining in quarter number 1. And here we are going to get our first look at Aiden Lanier. Kevin Minkler on the hold. High snap is handled well, and this one goes high through the uprights, and it's a 7-0 lead for the Spruce Creek Hawks. And they're on display. Number 44, Aiden Lanier. Something we haven't seen from an opposing team thus far into the season. Spruce Creek has a kicker on their hands. Max Schumento is going to have to fight for his title of the shoe.
Right, Nick. Yeah, that was very unorthodox way of running up to the ball. I don't know if you noticed it or not. He almost took a hop step and kind of ran up to the ball. Very unusual, but still a lot of leg power. The shoes finally got some competition.
So Seabreeze is going to get the ball back after this kickoff. However, they're going to have to change something on offense. 2 straight drives, 2 straight turnovers. One was a fumble off of miscommunication on a receiver in motion, and the second was an interception off of a deflection from a receiver. Nothing too much the fault of Blake Boda, but it's going to be his responsibility to get his offense in motion and going, as this kick is a short one, handled at about the 13-yard line. Seabreeze cutting right through the hash marks and taken down at about the 22-yard line. And that was senior Amir Brown on the carry. .58 seconds left in quarter number 1. 7-0 lead for Spruce Creek. And we will see what the sophomore quarterback comes out with in response to 2 straight drives ending in turnovers before they can get to their offensive half. 2 receivers on either side, plus Amir Brown in the backfield. The handoff is completed to Tashad Troutman. And he gets back to the line of scrimmage for 2nd down and 10.
Flag on the play.
And we may have another flag on the play here.
Shot block against the offense. 15-yard penalty for the previous spot. Remains 2nd down. Remains 1st down.
So it's going to be 1st down and 25 after a 15-yard penalty for a chop block on the Seabreeze offense. So again, penalties and turnovers being a theme of the game, and we're not even done with the first quarter yet. Pat Brown can't be happy with this start.
Right, absolutely not. No, he sees that Seabreeze has the potential to win this game, but penalties and turnovers are going to be a big harm to them if they keep up with this kind of, I don't know, pushy offense almost.
Amir Brown goes to the right. It is completed instead to E.J. Williams, and he was hit hard at the end of that play as Blake Boda faked that handoff, and we may have this come back as an incompletion after that collision.
Big hit there on the receiver.
Pass ball's incomplete. Intended receiver Javon Phillips.
So that'll stop the clock with 45 seconds left in quarter number 1. Wind hasn't really slowed down a little bit, so Seabreeze is working with the wind to their backs. One in motion to downfield. Boda handles the snap in his midsection. He's taken down at the 2-yard line.
That's Jake Patillo, deep in the backfield for the sack.
Jake Patillo with that sack for Spruce Creek.
Nick, Boda has to have better pocket presence here, and this is where we see the maturity. He kind of tried to scramble outside, but realistically should have just stood his ground in the pocket, trusted his O-line, and threw the ball. He had a wide open Amir Brown over to the right side of the field, could have gotten the ball to him very easily. Obviously coverage at around the 25 or so, but would have gotten him more than a sack.
And that is going to be the end of quarter number 1 as the clock ticks down to the final seconds. And so we will move the ball to the other side of the field.
Your score, Hawks 7, Sandcrabs
It's going to be
0.
quite the distance for this Seabreeze offense to pick up a first down in an offense that really has had no traction in quarter number 1.
Right, Nick, almost like they're trying to run on a soapy slip and slide there. It is very, very messy, not organized as you would like to see from this Sandcrab offense. And even on defense there down at the last end of Creek's drive, just that they ran the same exact run play and scored a touchdown. I mean, same almost victory formation, lined up. Seabreeze knew what to expect, just didn't read it properly. But I will say the one thing Seabreeze has improved on is their ability to read a halfback screen. That's kind of my major point of tonight, is seeing that they're able to read tendencies better. And that right there of having that tendency right at the end zone to, like you said, victory formation, that same setup, they should have been able to easily read that and failed to do so.
Third down and about a quarter of the field. Almost about third down and 30.
Right.
If my numbers are correct, about third down and 30. Last week, Seabreeze was 2 for 3 on their total third down attempts. And we're going to have to see this one go through the air potentially. Instead, they're just going to hand it to Amir Brown. His forward progress got him out of the end zone, but that was real close to a safety.
Right, Nick, and I expected the run on this play just to get them out of the end zone. They obviously aren't going to be able to convert on 3rd and 30 unless, short of a miracle.
Not with that attitude, they can't.
Well, I mean, the way the offense has been running, let's be realistic.
That was the safe play.
Right, it was the safe play for Pat Brown to get them out of the end zone, give his punter a little bit more clearance to get the ball out.
But unfortunately, it backed him up to the 1 instead of being on the 3.
Right.
So Shumento is only going to have 11 yards of space. He's got to be careful not to catch this ball with his feet out of bounds.
Right, yeah, he's got a foot on the white line right now. That ref is watching him. He just pointed at him, saying, hey, you might just want to take a step up.
So let's see what this D-line on the special teams can do. Great job, but Shumento doesn't get as much as he wanted on this kick, but it takes a good bounce. And it keeps rolling all the way out to the 45-yard line. And again, now in the second quarter, Seabreeze working against the wind. So Shumento had to really fight Mother Nature against that one.
Right, Nick, and that's what's going to be, I think that Seabreeze deferring to the second half, looking at it now, was not a very good idea. I think that in the long run, if Creek gets another touchdown here, yes, great idea coming into the second half. But if this defense can convert as they have been, not taking the ball in the first quarter kind of slowed down that momentum that Boda had last week. So now we see a slowed down, almost immature Boda offense that we saw against University.
And to me, for high school football, the biggest factor that was missing last week, being a Thursday night game, was the student section. But tonight, on a beautiful, cooler Friday night, the Seabreeze student section has come out in droves. As again, Cecere Wilson,
All socially distanced, of course.
not taken down when he had a hand on him. Instead, he fights for a gain of 5, second down and 5.
And speaking of socially distancing, that O-line did a great job socially distancing that Sandcrab defense there, giving the running back an opportunity to cut back and get up the field for a little bit of a gain. Probably about 5, it looked like to me.
Spruce Creek looking to their sideline for direction. Logan Garcia directs traffic from the pocket.
Timeout. Spruce Creek.
And Spruce Creek will take a timeout to get away from the delay of game penalty. 9:55 left in quarter number 2. That sees Spruce Creek leading by a score of 7-0. 3 total drives for the Seabreeze Sandcrabs. The first was a botched snap that turned into a fumble recovery by the Hawks, followed up by an interception off of a deflected pass, and then a punt from Shumento sent Spruce Creek out to the 45-yard line, where the Hawks are currently working on that drive. Second down and 5 currently at the 40-yard line. Once again, just reminding everybody, Seabreeze currently working in a left to right direction across your screen with the gray tops, red pants, chrome silver helmets. We talked about it last week with the baby blue uniforms. This Seabreeze Booster Club has done an amazing job making Seabreeze look and feel as good as they can on the field.
Right, Nick, and I've been waiting to make mention of it. I got to ask you, what are your favorites so far? I love the baby blue, but I really like this gray look, especially with breast cancer awareness going on. You know, we love the month of October. So I got to know, what's your favorite so far, the powder blues or the grays?
I love the grays.
I do too, man. The powder blues give an Ole Miss-esque, but I got to say, the grays, they've outdone themselves. The same almost hexagon design on the back, but
It's third down.
And a big spin move and a big pickup of yardage from Aaron Robinson. Spruce Creek gets deep into Seabreeze territory.
Pass is complete to Maverick Baranowski for a first down.
Brings up first down and 10 at about the 18-yard line, and Spruce Creek is threatening again. One in motion, the handoff is faked. Garcia slammed as he gets that ball away. Multiple flags come in. Around the secondary, though, not in the pocket.
Flags on the play.
And that pass was incomplete. Two flags came in simultaneously, right at about the same time that Garcia got absolutely pummeled in the pocket.
We got 2 fouls on the play. Holding on Seabreeze. Illegal man downfield on the offense. Was penalty offset. Remain first down.
So we'll replay first down after an illegal man downfield by Spruce Creek and a holding by Seabreeze for offsetting penalties. Handoff again, complete to Wilson. Wilson stutter step at about the 18-yard line. potentially picks up the first down.
Sincere Wilson again on the carry. Hurrying up for a first down.
They're spotting him at about the 9-yard line. So it's going to be 2nd down and 1.
Direction, he's just shy of the first down. It's 2nd and 1.
Second down and short. If the first down is picked up, it'll be 1st down and goal. Wilson, the handoff and the carry. Taken down in the backfield.
Ball's loose.
And that ball did come out. Seabreeze coming up like they have the ball. Still no signal from the official. There it is. A big fumble recovery from the Sandcrabs deep in their own territory. 1st down and 10 Sandcrabs at the 12-yard line.
Bring up a Sandcrab first down.
Amir Brown with the run to the right sideline, and there's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on number 52 for Spruce Creek. That is Heath Jaheim with a late shove after the play was blown dead. And Seabreeze is going to pick up some yardage on a penalty from Spruce Creek.
After the play, personal foul on the defense. 15-yard penalty for the end of the run. 1st down.
All of this with 7:41 left in quarter number 2, a 7-0 lead for Spruce Creek. That personal foul penalty brings Seabreeze up to the 25-yard line. Boda, the lefty, evades a couple of tackles, gets positive yardage on a hold by himself. Picks up a gain of about 2.
Blake Boda on the quarterback keeper.
Great job by Boda there, getting through that defensive line and keeping the ball in his hands.
Two receivers on either side of Boda. Matthew Bossett goes in motion as the handoff is complete to Amir Brown, but he goes nowhere except for a gain of 1 yard.
Amir Brown on the run.
Brings up 3rd down and 6.
Maverick Baranowski on the tackle. Gain of 2 yards. Brings up 3rd down and 6.
Bossett again in motion, upfield. Boda hangs onto it in the pocket, gets flushed out, escapes to the left side, has plenty of room to run if he hangs onto it. He'll pick up the 1st down and get out of bounds at the 41-yard line.
Great evasion by Boda there, rolling outside of the pocket, getting upfield, fighting for a 1st down. Great job by the sophomore there. That is the maturity that we have to see from Boda if Breeze expects to win this game.
Now again, that O-line of Seabreeze is getting a run for their money from Spruce Creek with 5:53 left in 2nd quarter. And we will have another water break here.
Water break is brought to you by Bar & Associates Physical Therapy, taking care of all of your sports-related injuries to keep you moving in the right direction.
Nick, and you'd think there wouldn't be so many water breaks. We've already had 2, one in the 1st, one in the 2nd. On a cool fall night like this, one of the coolest we've had all year so far. I believe it's about 74 degrees outside. Beautiful night here in Daytona Beach.
I mean, I'm seeing native Floridians down there in jeans and sweaters.
Right, we've got our student-driven production here. I mean, we've got, let me count them, 1, 2, 3, 4 hoodies up here on the 4th floor. So I think that, I don't know. Granted, they're on the field in pads and cleats, so I can't really be one to talk because I'm up here in cargo shorts and a t-shirt. But all of the native Floridians here, as most of these players are, except for the one player on Seabreeze that's from up in New Jersey, I don't know, man. Maybe a little bit less water breaks and a little more football.
I don't know, and it's all based on viewpoint. If I'm the coach of a team that just got a massive first down run from his quarterback, I don't want a water break to slow down the momentum. As here's a pitch to Amir Brown by Boda. He fights to get back to the line of scrimmage for a gain of a single yard.
And Nick, this is where we come back to the pitch play. As we mentioned last week, that is only, I believe, the 4th pitch play they've run all season for this Sandcrab offense. And you see if the blocking's correct, Amir Brown can read his gaps properly and get upfield. Granted, only a 1-yard rush there, but that's just because of the coverage on the defensive side of the ball. So I think they need to include a little more of that, and the run-heavy offense is going to be intact here just because of the pressure their secondary is putting on Seabreeze.
Boda hangs on to it, rolls out to his left, and it's too far in front of his receiver. Falls incomplete for 3rd down and 9.
Nick, Boda kind of carelessly threw the ball there. I think he was kind of confident that his receiver was going to come back to it. I don't know. I mean, it just seemed like it was a little bit careless there on the toss.
Under 5 to go in quarter number 2. Seabreeze trails by a touchdown. There's a 7-0 lead for Spruce Creek.
Offsides. And that is definitely going to be on number 15, Jake Batillo.
So doesn't bring up a first down, but it's going to be 3rd down and closer. And we may see another direct snap to Amir Brown here. So 3rd down and about 4. It's going to be Seabreeze run game versus Spruce Creek defense. The direct snap to Amir Brown. Has room to the right sideline. Did he get there? He's spotted by the near side referee at the 49-yard line. I think he needed to get to the 48.
Looks like he might be a couple grades of, like, blades of grass ahead of that pylon.
It's going to be 4th down, but Seabreeze is electing to go into 4-down territory. Again, Boda on the sideline. Amir Brown will receive the direct snap. High snap is bobbled. He runs backwards into the backfield. That's not going to work out. He's going to be taken down in the backfield, and it's going to be a turnover on downs for Spruce Creek.
Why? Lateral. Very simple concept. Dude, head first into the middle of the pile. Simple concept. You literally had inches to get the first down. Why choose to run outside? Head first, dive over the pile. Troy Polamalu. I mean, just go over the top.
It was a high snap, so I believe by the time that Amir Brown composed himself and realized he finally had control and possession of the ball, he saw white jerseys and orange helmets in his face. And again, not only lateral movement, backward movement.
Right, and still though, you have a way better chance of pushing the pile rather than trying to get all the way outside. He ran, 8 yards outside trying to get to the first down and just failed miserably.
1st down and 10 on the turnover on downs for Spruce Creek at the 47-yard line. Handoff complete to Wilson, taken down for no gain. 2nd down and 10 coming up for the Hawks.
And not to say that there weren't bright spots on that Seabreeze offense. They looked really good. We saw Boda mature himself, get his composure after a few pretty shoddy first series. And just have got to get themselves together here. And this Seabreeze defense, I can tell already, is getting tired.
Garcia almost picked off. It goes into the hands of Brooke Byers. And a flag comes in on the play.
Pass is complete T.J. Williams on the tackle. Penalty on the play.
I think we're going to see an unsportsmanlike conduct here because of the celebration after the hit or for the hit itself, even though to me looked like a clean hit.
And they are pushing Seabreeze farther back into their own territory.
On the defense, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run will be first down.
Now, where was the helmet used on that play? That was a clean hit.
I saw shoulder to shoulder.
Not even shoulder, it was shoulder to chest. Terrible call by the officiating crew.
Wilson completes the handoff, runs to the right sideline, forced out of bounds, but not before he picks up about 5 yards on the run. Sincere Wilson is the #1 threat to the Seabreeze defense right now.
Right, and it seemed like the defensive side on the ball for Seabreeze was containing him at first, and now they are just getting picked apart.
Second down and about 5.
That's a fumble.
Ball is loose. It was incomplete on the handoff. Ball is still fumbling around on the ground out there. Who has it?
I think it's going to be Spruce Creek. Seemed like they landed on it, bobbled by Seabreeze. Have to capitalize on those opportunities.
Garrett Lenoy.
And it brings up 3rd down and 10.
Nick, again, turnovers have to be something that's going to affect this game from first quarter to fourth quarter. They've got to do a better job.
Garcia forced in the pocket to send this one through the air. I believe that's completed. I think that's a completion for Spruce Creek at the 1-yard line. That should have been picked off by the Seabreeze secondary. Instead, it pops up in the air, lands right on a Spruce Creek wide receiver, and it's completed at the 1-yard line. First down and goal, Hawks.
Same thing, Nick. I mean, you can't give up a wide open interception. Classic case of Butterfingers there. I mean, first you give up a fumble. Now we're going to see. Here it is. Victory formation handoff. Sniffed out this time. If
gets back to the 1-yard line, should have been tackled in the backfield. Instead,
no gain on the play. Second down and goal.
Instead, Spruce Creek will get back to the 1-yard line. We may have a timeout. And Seabreeze will use up their second timeout of the first half as they trail 7-0 and dealing with second down and goal on their own 1-yard line after 2 opportunities to get a turnover against the Spruce Creek offense.
Right, Nick, and you've just got to capitalize on those opportunities. First, you have a fumble slip out. Now you just let an interception go. I mean, the secondary has to do a better job. That was going to be the sophomore defensive back there. And I'll tell you what, man, just have to do a better job. There's really, that's the short and sweet to it. If you can't manage to pick a ball off, that's pretty much a Sam Darnold pass into your hands. You've got bigger issues than a mere case of Butterfingers. That ball was floated right into the secondary, easily interceptable, and just failed to do so. And here we see the victory formation run again. I think this time might be a QB sneak.
Snap is bobbled again. Let's see if Seabreeze can pick up this ball.
I think it is Seabreeze ball this time. They may have capitalized.
Hawks recover once again.
Nope. Hawks are going to recover this one again. Seabreeze not capitalizing on their opportunities. Third down and goal on the 2-yard line this time.
In this same victory formation run.
Handoff complete. Seabreeze defense doesn't allow him to get into the end zone. Fourth down for the Hawks.
And here we see Max Schumento's nemesis and challenge with the win this time. Let's see if he can put it through the uprights.
Or are we in 4-down territory trying to go up by 2 touchdowns this close to the end zone? Doesn't look like they're bringing out the kicking team.
I would expect to personally, especially with a minute left to go before halftime. Obviously, from an analytics standpoint, I would think bring the kicking team out and or call a timeout, which we see.
First grade.
See the timeout there from Spruce Creek. I think they're going to talk it over. I think personally they'll elect to bring the kicker out here because regardless of if you're going up by a touchdown or not, you've got a very good chance of this Sandcrab defense snuffing out your victory formation run. They've done it 3 times back-to-back, caused a fumble. Throwing the ball, the secondary's been there outside of Butterfinger in the ball. Then you've got that opportunity, though. If you do score, you're up 2 touchdowns going into halftime with Seabreeze getting the ball back, which is a great position for them to be in. But on the Seabreeze side of the ball, you're not going 99 yards in a minute, spur of a miracle. So I think now personally for them, it is less dangerous to send the kicking team out against this Sandcrabs special teams, especially being how close they are, rather than bringing out and giving up right on the 1-yard line.
Logan Garcia does make his way onto the field. Again, victory formation on a potential run play.
4th and goal.
4th and goal. They're going to go for it.
Full-on blitz by the Sandcrab defense here. Quarterback sneak.
QB sneak.
He's going to get in.
And a rugby-style scrum forces Garcia from behind into the end zone. Touchdown Hawks. They lead 13-0, potentially 14, depending on the foot of Aiden Lanier.
Nick, and I was kind of noticing it before where they ran that victory formation play where you could potentially just kind of throw that Sandcrab defense off, where they hesitate and expect to run from the victory formation. But this time.
And Lanier is going to send this kick right through the uprights. 14-0 is the lead for the Spruce Creek Hawks. Now, you're down by 2 full touchdowns, but you're going to get this kickoff and be in better position than the 2-yard line. What would you rather have, be down by 2 with a chance to get within 1 before halftime and get the ball back at the start of the 3rd quarter, or be down by a touchdown dealing with a potential safety situation on the 2-yard line?
I think the obvious answer is being able to come out around the 20-yard line, depending. I mean, we see the strong leg of the Creek kicker here. So more than likely we're going to see a touchback, unless he pins them a little closer, kind of trying to get them to run out and tempt them a little with a potential run back. But personally, yeah, I would much rather have 57 seconds. Let Bode air it out. Let him. May as well. You already have 1 turnover. There's harm in having a turnover. But if you get down to the final 20 seconds after this kick, and just let him air it out, because an interception is the least of your worries going into halftime. You've got to do and cover other things going into halftime rather than a last-second spur-of-the-moment toss-up and an interception.
Lanier is going to send this one with the wind, recovered at the 11-yard line. Here comes Seabreeze out to the 25 and taken down right at about the 24, I believe, depending on the spot. We'll see Seabreeze take over with 52.4 seconds left on the clock.
1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Just shy of a minute left to go in the half.
Ball is spotted right at the 25-yard line. 1 timeout to work with for the Sandcrabs. So if you want to get on the board, it's going to have to be runs and throws to the outside of the field. And there's not a lot of coverage from the Spruce Creek secondary on the outside. They're not really covering that. This handoff is complete to Amir Brown. Only picks up about a yard on the run. That will run the clock. 45 seconds on it as of now.
Amir Brown on the carry. Gain of a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
And again, from up here on the roof of Municipal Stadium, we feel the wind start to pick up a little bit. Boda getting directions from his sideline. Running clock with 18 seconds left.
Probably going to see a run here just to kill the clock. Oh,
Boda
no.
hangs on to it, looks downfield, looking into the wind. He's flushed out of the pocket. Gets over the line of scrimmage, runs, taken down on a hard hit.
Boda on the quarterback keeper.
And we may see a timeout. I see the official on the near side. So it's going to be first down and 10 at the 36-yard line. And that's just going to run the clock out. Seabreeze is not going to have an opportunity to get one more play down. So it's halftime here in Daytona Beach, brought to you by the Daytona Beach Resort. Our score at the half, Spruce Creek 14, Seabreeze nothing. We're going to step aside and let you see and hear the sounds of the Seabreeze Marching 100 after this message about beating cancer and recognizing October as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We'll be back at the start of the third quarter. This is Seabreeze High School football on SBHSB Broadcasting Livestream.
We're the parents of identical twin girls, Kennedy and Kendall Breifogel. One is a survivor of AML and one passed away from complications of AML. We had them in May of 2015. That June when they came home, we started noticing some spots on their faces and on their heads and on their bodies. We ended up getting them biopsied in August of that year, and 2 days later we had the preliminary results that it was AML, and they were 3 months old at the time. The twins went through 4 rounds of chemotherapy. I remember one question I asked one of our doctors in treatment was, what are the chances of this drug working? And he just said to us, I don't like to give percentages or chances or odds because either it works or it doesn't.
Come on, Kendall.
We were released in remission and off treatment, enjoyed a year at home together, and then February 2017, we found out Kendall had relapsed. Her cancer was coming back faster than anything else, and she died September 7th, 2017. Obviously, one of our questions is why did it work for one and not the other when they're the same? That's one of the reasons we keep fundraising, because Kennedy's not safe, other kids aren't safe, and we need to have those answers.
You have almost this relief that at least she's not suffering, you're not suffering for her, all these things. But we live in the unfortunate situation that it could all happen again.
You're rocking.
Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's motto right now is beating cancer is in our blood, and I truly believe that, and I feel that, so that's why we just keep fighting. I want to make sure no other family has to experience what we've experienced, and I always say that ours is a little bit of a unique hell because we have one child who's still being threatened every day by the possibility of relapsing. My hope would be to see more precision medicine. One of the big reasons we're really behind LLS right now is they're launching the Children's Initiative. It's hard for us watching all these treatments be developed for adults, but nothing specific for children.
Good job, Kendall May. You're cruising, lady.
The more you learn about it, the more you realize how many people are actually affected by this. And it's a lot higher than you would think.
Now is the time. With the Children's Initiative, our children are our future, and so making better treatments for them, making cancer more beatable for them, more sustainable after they've beat it, making life easier, this is the time to get involved.
Fix your ponies and let's knock 'em out.
Family is just about spending time and being with the people you most want to be with.
We've tried to put a more importance on doing things together.
Making memories, I think, is a big thing.
We just put you up here? That'd be silly.
Frank Sinatra is known for being one of America's great singers. He has recorded countless hits and many well-known standards. Tonight, the Marching 100 would like to play one of his most famous hits. Along with the Seabreeze Color Guard, sit back and enjoy the Marching 100 version of Fly Me to the Moon. Thank you, ladies. We continue tonight's performance by featuring two of our band members, band captain Connor Savory and clarinet section coordinator Brian Blackwood, as they show their talents to a tune made popular from the movie Mask. This is Royal Crown's review, Hey Pachuco. Let's hear it for the Seabreeze Marching 100. Band captain is Connor Savory, percussion captain is Pierce Casey. We would like to thank color guard instructor Dominica Stengler and guard assistant Lexi Hardy, percussion instructor Cliff Benoit, and percussion assistant Jordan Sanders. Have a great evening. Thank you, and go Sandcrabs!
horrible, but it's not great.
It's better than what I got right now.
So.
You'll see it when you get out and they line up and who they give the ball to. I'm looking at the same way you are. That's all I know.
Hello, Nicholas.
All right, let's get back to second half action.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Sandcrabs set to receive.
Can you talk, make sure my headset works?
Welcome back to Friday Night Lights here, Seabreeze High School football. Currently trailing 14-0 to the Spruce Creek Hawks, who will send this one away into the waiting arms of the Sandcrabs, who won the coin toss and deferred to receive this second half kickoff. A good stiff arm. Seabreeze has a chance down the right sideline. And we may see a late hit called on this flag as Amir Brown had a healthy run to start this second half.
Right, Nick, and Amir Brown's got to show out in the second half to give the Seabreeze Sandcrabs an advantage, especially with great starting field position like that. Surprising to see him returning kicks, but also a really awesome aspect and a great factor of adding speed into their special teams return.
Offensive play, personal foul, late hit out of bounds on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty, be first down.
So first down after an extra 15-yard penalty on that personal foul for a late hit out of bounds. Seabreeze is going to start in phenomenal field position, but it's an offense that has a goose egg on the scoreboard and not a lot of traction underneath them.
Right, Nick, they have been on that slippery slope of their offense, and defense has done an incredible job handling the ball so far outside of the 2 slip-ups of not being able to recover a fumble, actually 3 times, not being able to recover a fumble twice and having full Butterfingers mode for that interception back in near the back of the end zone.
Boda in motion upfield. The handoff is complete to Brown. Brown cuts back and picks up a gain of about 3, possibly 4.
Amir Brown.
Should have been a face mask right there. Had him all by the grill. It's kind of weird to see them call the late out of bounds hit when he barely touched him, but then the face mask comes up and nothing. Not even a bat of the eye at him. He didn't even reach for the flag.
Second down and 6 for Seabreeze. First time that they're in offensive territory at the 49-yard line in quite some time. Boda fakes the handoff, stays in his pocket, steps up, sends one through the air, and it drops. Oh my goodness. That was Chris Lewis. It went right into his arms. It was a beautiful pass from Boda. It went over the first man in the secondary, dropped right into the waiting hands of Chris Lewis, and it just went right through his hands.
Nick, just a blown coverage by the secondary there. He should not have stepped up as far, because honestly, if the safety would have fallen back maybe a couple yards, that would have been Spruce Creek ball all day long.
Third down and 6. Third downs have been an issue for the Sandcrabs. Let's see if Boda can get some magic underneath him right now. This is a play that this offense needs. Boda hangs onto it in the pocket, steps up, and he's taken down by Spruce Creek. No help from his O-line.
Quarterback is sacked in the backfield.
Looks like that is Heath Jaheim, along with a couple extra white jerseys in on that sack, and Max Schumento is going to punt this one away for a quick 4-and-out for the Sandcrabs.
Max Schumento back to punt for the Sandcrabs.
And the wind has significantly died down here, so Schumento is going to be able to send this one quite a long way. Something I saw him working on during pregame was getting more air underneath his ball, and he does just that. His team is going to be able to get up and catch up to that ball right as it hits the turf. And it's fielded down at the 24-yard line. Spruce Creek not in horrible position, but farther back in their half than they would prefer.
Right, Nick, and I don't know if you saw it on your screen or not, or if you even saw it. But there was a terrible, ungodly holding by Maverick Baranowski down towards the end zone. Had almost taken the Sandcrab defender jersey off of his entire body. Had completely ripped it off of his pad. Again, the referees have got to do a better job here.
So it is the senior quarterback, Logan Garcia, completing yet another handoff to his senior running back, Sasir Wilson, who picks up a first down after being nearly tackled almost a dozen times.
Right, Nick. I don't think Seabreeze has yet to see a running back like Sasir Wilson. Lateral quickness, ability to put his head down and bust through a defensive line. They haven't seen that yet, so this has been something really unexpected for them. I spoke with a guy who covers New Smyrna Beach football, Phil. I apologize to Phil. I can't remember how to spell say your last name, man, but spoke with him. He's a big New Smyrna Beach high school football supporter. He was telling me that this offense is very run heavy, and this is something I expected, but not to this extent. So really impressive to see. Seabreeze has got to do a better job on defense.
You say run heavy. I would call it a completely run offense.
Right. Absolutely. You're not wrong.
We haven't seen more than 3 or 4 pass attempts from the senior quarterback. It's been run after run after run. Any completions that have been made have been for a pickup of 2 or 3 yards or behind the line of scrimmage. At this point, you're at a 14-0 lead. Why hide it? Why not just have a direct snap to Sasir Wilson and let him get a full head of steam?
Right, but the thing is, it's almost like when you saw the victory formation run. You fully expect a run.
And here we see the run here. Wilson evading a couple of tackles, gets into offensive territory before he's taken down at the 45-yard line.
But to continue on the last point, it's a game of tendencies. And you see, though, if they are to just go to a direct snap, like Seabreeze tends to sometimes, it's obviously a dead giveaway. So defenses will be able to pick that out. But if you stick with the quarterback, then it's kind of like you hit him with a play action one time or the other and or an option.
This handoff is complete to Minkler. He gets to the right side of the field. Taken down, but not before another pickup of 11 yards and good for a first down at the 34-yard line. Spruce Creek making quick work of the Seabreeze defense right now, trying to build on their 14-0 lead. High snap is controlled, and again, the handoff complete to Wilson. Again, consistently picking up 5 yards on almost every single carry, if not more. Second down and 5 for the Hawks. And that's something you want to see out of a senior leadership role like that, is that consistency.
Right.
You want to be able to look at a running back, look at a wide receiver, and say they're going to make this play every single time, no matter who's on the opposite side of the ball. And again, here's a first completed pass that we've seen this half, and it's good for a first down for the Hawks. That is number 7, Sebastian Moran, on the catch and carry.
Right, and that's where we see that play action come into play. And like you said, the seniority of having a senior running back, a senior quarterback, the chemistry. Imagine the offensive line. It's more not even about the quarterback running back chemistry or even quarterback to receiver chemistry. That offensive line is what is the glue that is holding this team together. Realistically, you look at it, the protection by them has been what has made Sasir Wilson successful. Not to degrade his quality as a running back.
This one goes through the air. No call on the field. They're going to call it a completed catch. Players are fighting for that ball. Seabreeze is not happy about it. There is a flag on the play. It could be for the excessive celebration for Spruce Creek, or it may be from the words that are coming out of the face mask of the Seabreeze secondary defender, who is not happy. That is number 4, J.J. Kelly, the senior.
On the next episode of You Got Mossed, we have the entire almost Seabreeze Sandcrabs secondary. As you still see some jawing going on back and forth between them. I think they picked the flag up off the field.
Still waiting from the official word from the referee. He's in between the hash marks.
We got first down, Spruce Creek. After the play, unsportsmanlike, on the defense, half the distance to the goal, remains first down.
Half the distance to the goal on a defensive, unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Timeout, Seabreeze.
And Seabreeze is going to take a timeout here. And I think Pat Brown wants a discussion with the official. And that's exactly what's happening. The official and Pat Brown are at words with each other. Now let's go back to that catch, because that was one heck of a catch from that Spruce Creek receiver on the right side of the field. Exactly as you said on this episode of You've Got Mossed. That ball was going to land short of both the defender and the receiver, and instead the Spruce Creek receiver got up, reached around the Seabreeze defender, J.J. Kelly, caught that ball, and essentially caught J.J. Kelly falling on top of him.
Right, and you see the fight for the ball at the end there. That was where the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty came from. J.J. Kelly obviously not happy. I mean, of course, no one is after you get a ball caught over top of you. But obviously, great catch, great hands there by the receiver, putting them in great territory. And I think we see the victory formation run here on the next play. But I could only imagine Pat Brown not only not happy with his defenders, but not happy with the officials. Again, next to not high quality officiating tonight, been very, very shoddy all the way around.
Now there's no one else in the backfield with Garcia. We're going to see a potential for Garcia to run this in himself, or he may send this one through the air, and instead Wilson is going to be sent in motion, but the handoff is not going to be completed. Garcia was able to hang on to that ball and run it into the end zone himself off that set play.
Nice read option that play there by Creek. I think that they have that great offensive line. I like the adjustment rather than the solid set. Because normally when you see a read option play, you stand there, quarterback, running back right next to you, get the handoff faked, and then run in. This time, I think the adjustment threw Seabreeze off.
Lanier on the kick, and it's good.
Lanier with the successful PAT brings up 21-0. Seabreeze facing a 3-touchdown deficit in a game that really should be a lot tighter on the scoreboard. Seabreeze has had multiple opportunities to pick up turnovers on fumbles or interceptions. That Spruce Creek has gotten those bounces the other way, and there's just been no traction for the Seabreeze offense.
Well, Nick, you notice, look at the schedule. Yet another tendency. Seabreeze, week 1, our first game, 30-8 win versus Deltona. You'd think hot, fiery, offensive defense. Fully expecting a great game out of them. Week 2, blown out, 26-7 by University. Then a huge blowout win over Atlantic. And now, by the way it's looking, third quarter, 6 minutes, 47 seconds left, potentially a loss here to Spruce Creek. I mean, win, loss, win, now potentially loss.
Still time on the clock. Amir Brown taken down at about the 19-yard line.
Sandcrabs take over first and 10.
And again, all of this with 6 minutes and 40 seconds left in quarter number 3. Again, a 21-0 lead for Spruce Creek right now, coming into enemy territory. Not really taking command of the game. I wouldn't say Spruce Creek has won the first half or is winning the third quarter. I would say Seabreeze is losing the first half and losing the third quarter so far. It hasn't necessarily been Spruce Creek taking a stranglehold of this game. Seabreeze just hasn't been taking advantage of their opportunities, and they've been shooting themselves in the foot with lack of third down conversions, numerous amounts of penalties, and not a lot of opportunity on the offensive on the offensive side of the ball, and we're potentially going to see a delay of game penalty for the lack of concentration.
No, we're going to see 12 men on the field, probably one of those two. I will say.
Legal substitution.
Right.
5-yard penalty will mean first down.
So a 5-yard penalty for an illegal substitution. Again, penalties.
Right.
Unnecessary penalties. It's one thing to get clocked with a flag after an excessive show of force, after an excessive hit, excessive tackle,
right.
Unfortunate holding penalty down the field, trying to make, or a potential see it one way or another blindside block.
Right.
But stuff like delay of game, illegal substitution, false start, mental penalties are going to destroy you night in and night out. And Boda sends this one through the air in good coverage from Spruce Creek, not allowing that pass to fall complete, and it's 2nd down and 15.
Right, but like you were saying, it's 7 penalties last week for 56 yards.
In a 56-0 win.
Right, but now we're at a 21-0 deficit in the 3rd quarter, and why Harold McKay would run on the field? I mean, clearly I was counting them before they even threw the flag. I'm like waiting for it. I'm sitting, anticipating the flag. I'm going 10, 11, 12 from left to right. And it's a matter of time. But why, though? I don't see the...
Boda with the pitch to Brown and immediately taken down in the backfield. Seabreeze offense just doesn't have an answer for this Spruce Creek D-line.
No, absolutely not. Pat Brown has got to get his offense together. This should have been a halftime speech. Seabreeze have made no halftime adjustments whatsoever. The pitch, again, that's going to be the 5th one of the season so far. No halftime adjustments were made. I don't see why. Still a 21-0 deficit here with 6 minutes left to go. But let Boda air it out at this point. He's had one pass in this quarter at least.
Boda will hang on to it, steps back into the end zone, evades out of the pocket, steps right up into a wall of white jerseys and taken down for a sack. And it's going to be 4th down and a mile for Shumento to send this one away with his right foot.
Terrible pocket presence by Boda there. Again, the immaturity of that quarterback had number 7, Harold McKay, wide open, standing at about the 15, and just didn't throw the ball. Had all the time in the world. Why he would scramble up in the pocket makes absolutely no sense to me. Secondary coverage was great, but at that point, get a short dump route going. Get your punter a little more room, especially with the wind in his face.
Shumento has this one nearly blocked, but he gets enough boot to leather. And this one's going to make it all the way out to the 49-yard line. So again, Spruce Creek in decent field position. And the Seabreeze defense is going to have to find some sort of answer.
As we have a water break here, but you're right, Nick. Seabreeze, their defense has got to be expecting the run. Of course. But I'll tell you what, Cecere Wilson has gained traction in this sand trap. I think that personally he is going to be obviously the player of the game. If anybody's getting the game ball, it's him. But the air attack by Spruce Creek also has to be a little bit better because their quarterback, although senior, has made terrible decisions throwing the ball. I mean, granted, you've got Sebastian Moran, who made an incredible catch, again, on the next episode of You Got Mossed. But that was a terrible throw. That was merely the receiver saving his quarterback because you think middle linebacker J.J. Kelly, who had 2 tackles last week, both for loss, was playing the receiver well. Had he turned around, we would have seen Seabreeze on offense again.
Spruce Creek takes over at the 48-yard line. And again, going back to Logan Garcia, who is all alone in the pocket, sends this one through the air. Horrible pass, picked off by Seabreeze. And that's why you see the run game so heavy for the Hawks. One pass, one play on this drive. That's all it took. And now we've got a late flag on the play as the official stares down one of the Seabreeze Sandcrabs defenders coming off the field. I think J.J. Kelly is going to get another flag here.
For helping the other player up? and then giving him a good job?
Now, of course, 100 yards away, 4 levels up at Daytona Stadium, we don't know what was said.
Okay, but you don't help somebody up and then trash talk them.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on the interception team, on the defense, half a distance to the goal will be first down.
And that's exactly what it is. J.J. Kelly pleading his case to the near side official. It's going to be a half the distance to the goal penalty. It will remain first down and 10, but now Seabreeze is backed all the way up to their 8-yard line.
And again, the officiating here tonight, official can't even get a sentence out of his mouth. How do you call a penalty when you can't even speak? I mean, come on. He helped the guy up off the turf, and he penalized him for giving him a good job on the side of the helmet. And, of course, all he sees is him smacking him in the side of the helmet, so they're going to toss him a penalty. But unbelievably horrible officiating tonight.
Boda hangs onto it in the pocket, steps up, moves to his left, sends this one through the air, and I would like to see it go farther out of bounds. That was close. I like the idea of just throwing that one away, not taking the sack, not taking the safety, but that one was too close for comfort to being intercepted.
See, and Boda could have very well avoided the safety and gotten one of his check down routes, got the ball to one of his check down routes. I mean, why do you roll all the way back in the back left corner, for us at least, well, technically the right, but the back left corner of the end zone? Why? Your offensive line is blocking for you. Stand in the pocket. Make your presence felt as a quarterback. Again, the immaturity by Boda here is going to send this Sandcrab offense.
That should be pass interference, and of course it is. Chris Lewis was trying to get in between the hash marks, and he was held heavily by William Marshall, and a flag comes in on that play. That should be defensive pass interference or holding, one of the two, to get Seabreeze some better field position.
Pass interference on the defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. The result will be first down.
So the pass interference will bring up a fresh set of downs for Seabreeze. And again, now we're seeing it affect Spruce Creek, those mental penalties, not necessarily playing too hard or a missed call from the official, something mental of just putting your hands on a receiver right in the middle of the field as the ball comes to him. And this Spruce Creek defense taking a while to get set as Boda handles this in the pocket. And he's taken down. He had an opportunity to get that to Amir Brown.
Again, terrible pocket presence by Boda. Again, showing the immaturity level of having a sophomore quarterback. He's shown signs of boldness, greatness, but now we're at there seems like they're not changing. Now they've done it. We're at a second and probably, I want to say, at least 12 or 13. And just Boda is the reason tonight. It seems like to me, outside of the defense crumbling, is the reason Seabreeze is losing because of terrible decision making.
Boda alone in the pocket, quick pass out to the left side. And that ball comes loose but goes out of bounds. But again, the mental mistakes for Seabreeze. And I think we've got a flag on the play back behind.
And a flag in the backfield.
The only player in the vicinity of that flag is Spruce Creek's Heath Jaheim. I mean, that flag's all the way back at the 4-yard line, and the line of scrimmage or the play at least right now, is up at the 21-yard line, so something happened well behind the play. And Brooks Byers in there pleading his case for the Hawks. Now it's going to be a 3- or 4-man discussion for the officials. And they're going to talk it over with the Spruce Creek coaching staff. All of this with a stopped clock at 3:45 left in quarter number 3. Seabreeze has the ball, but it doesn't feel like still a lot of traction. They're down 21-0 to the Spruce Creek Hawks right now. And we may get the call from the official here after all. Ball is placed at the 36-yard line.
personal foul on the defense, 15-yard penalty at the end of the run, first down.
So again, Spruce Creek gifting Seabreeze a first down at the 36-yard line. At some point, you've got to take advantage.
Right. I mean, you've had so many opportunities, missed potential turnovers, penalties, great field position. Amir Brown returning kicks has put you at the 25-yard lines at least 3 times. I mean, you've got to take advantage. And again, Boda, more than anybody tonight, being the reason this offense can't get moving.
Boda this time stands in the pocket, just sends this one away. I don't see too many receivers he could have gone to, but again, staying in the pocket, not necessarily rolling out and giving yourself an off-balance throw. But it's going to be 2nd down and 10 as you trail by 3 touchdowns in your own half.
And Nick, I don't think Boda has targeted Matthew Bossett one time tonight. Normally his favorite target.
This one's going to be completed for a short gain. Ball comes loose, but the ball hit. That is a helmet. Excuse me.
Good Lord.
That is the bucket of number 22, Cole Barnes. I thought the ball came out.
I'm not going to lie to you. I thought it was a ball too until I kind of saw it turn to the face mask. Holy cow.
Just seems to have popped off. No excessive force used. There's no flag on the play for that. So it's going to be 3rd down and 5.
But I think Seabreeze is going to take advantage of him coming off the field here, because if you lose your helmet, you have to come off the field.
Boda through the air, completed, but snuffed out right at the line of scrimmage. Brings up 4th down, and Shumento most likely is going to come out to send this one away again.
Pat Brown's got to go for it here. He has to. You've got 2 minutes and 50 seconds left. You're at a 4th and 5. You're down 21. Keep your guys on the field.
And that's exactly what's going to happen. 4th down and 5, 4-down territory for the sophomore quarterback.
We've got a huge gap in the slide. That's going to be a false start.
We may see encroachment, of course. There's a potential.
No, Caden Patton was given his offensive. Caden Patton giving his offensive lineman a whole rash of mess, because that's a mistake you cannot make. You see Pat Brown put trust in his quarterback. That totally slows the momentum here, and we've just got to pray this Seabreeze defense holds up now.
So now Shumento is going to come out. 4th down and 10, too much for the Seabreeze coaching staff to bargain on. Shumento sends this one low, but a good distance away. It'll take a roll. It's touched by Spruce Creek. Not sure why that happened. Luckily for the Hawks, though, that is number 15, Jake Batillo, with a lapse of judgment.
A little bit of bold right there, I think, is what that was.
That's a lot of bit of bold. He's got 4 gray jerseys around him, and he picks up that bouncing ball. Yikes.
Yeah, yikes is right, because you're in a sea of gray. I don't know if he thought he had his own defenders around him. I don't know. I don't know how hard it is to mix up white and gray with a face mask in front of you, but like.
I think the sheen of these brand new Seabreeze chrome helmets distracted him a little bit.
Courtesy of the Seabreeze Booster Club, of course.
Of course. 2:19 left in quarter number 3. Still time, but the Seabreeze defense has to get a stop, and they're going to do just that. It's a tackle for a loss of 1. And again, Sasir Wilson needs to be handled by this Seabreeze defense.
No gain on the play. Stephen Taylor with the tackle for the Sandcrabs.
Stephen Taylor said, walk this way right back to the line of scrimmage. Garcia through the air, completed to the near side. And Seabreeze will force him out of bounds. That is number 14, Aaron Robinson.
Aaron Robertson on
And
the
it only
reception.
took 24 minutes of play plus halftime
Run out of bounds.
for Logan Garcia to get an arm on him.
Campbell for the Sandcrabs.
It has been all Cecile Wilson up until this point of the game.
Amir Brown-esque type of game.
I mean, exactly what we were saying the Seabreeze senior running back had to do last game against Atlantic. Cecile Wilson is having that kind of game against Seabreeze tonight. He's going to have the handoff again. Stopped at the line of scrimmage by Seabreeze. And that's going to bring up 4th down and 1.
Up the middle.
Now this, Nick,
This
the
is a
momentum.
big turning point.
This is the momentum Seabreeze needs. You've got about 13:25 left in the game. This is the moment where Blake Boda getting the ball back in his hands. If they decide to punt the ball,
They're going to go for it, it looks like, but looks like there may be a timeout by Spruce Creek first.
Timeout. First Creek.
We haven't seen a Spruce Creek punt so far.
no.
So we don't know what kind of punting capabilities the Hawks have to try to pin Seabreeze deeper in their own half like Shumento can with his opposition.
Right, and I think the other thing too is when you look at it, it's like, okay, you're 4th and 1. You're clearly either going to run a quarterback sneak in the victory formation, or you're going to hand the ball off. One of the two, depending on how they're feeling. They're up 21-0 with 1:07 left in the third. Realistically, they should be punting the ball off regardless of 4th and 1. But with their foot on the gas, I see it and I can respect the fact if they go for it. And I mean, realistically, we could even see a fake punt here. Anything can happen at this point. Looks like they're going to punt.
That is Brooks Byers back to punt this away. He will send this one on a good kick through the air. Fair catch is called for. And Seabreeze takes over at the 24-yard line, it looks like, potentially the 23. And this is where Seabreeze is going to have to really put their foot on the gas. The defense did their job. 3 and out. That was the job that Pat Brown enlisted his defense with doing.
The fastest 3 and out of the entire night, mind you.
Easily.
Blake Boda, as you see him talking to him now.
Or even Amir Brown.
Right, him too. Or even a Matthew Bossett.
We, as you said before, we haven't seen Matthew Bossett targeted. He had a touchdown last week.
Right, and has been majorly targeted in every game we've seen so far. So we've got to see a little more of the air attack by Seabreeze, as well as Amir Brown getting on the ground and getting through that defensive line. Mainly O-line has to do a better job at this point.
Boda in the pocket. The lefty escapes the pocket, stays on the defensive line of scrimmage, picks up a couple of yards before sliding.
See now, if I'm Amir Brown,
I want that pitch.
Exactly. You get outside like that, that is a clear option opportunity. If I'm Amir Brown, I'm running up next to Boda like, hey, here I am, get it to me. You see Boda looked for him. I think, truly, that if that's run properly, that could be easily a design play where you have that motion and have him get outside and run up when the quarterback escapes the pocket, because they're blitzing the same holes every time. They are taking advantage of what Seabreeze is giving them through that offensive line. I mean, watch. The right side of the line crumbles here. He splits the gap.
Boda gets out of the pocket, looks downfield. It's complete all the way to the 49-yard line. Big play from the sophomore quarterback again.
Beautiful throw by Boda. That's the maturity that Seabreeze was looking for. That's what they needed. But you noticed, as I was speaking to it as he snapped the ball, that left side, excuse me, I said right previously, but the left side of that Seabreeze offensive line has crumbled every time.
If I read the number correctly, that's Trevon Phillips getting that catch and putting Seabreeze at a 1st and 10 on the 50. Boda steps up in the pocket, near side to Amir Brown. He's got nowhere to go except back to the line of scrimmage before he's snuffed out. Potentially for a 1-yard loss, depending on where the spot is. I've got one referee on the far side standing at the 50, one on this side on the 49. And that is going to be the end of quarter number 3.
Nick, if we see this Seabreeze offense,
I'm telling you
like
what,
that,
the last 3.5 minutes of play shows signs of a Seabreeze comeback.
Hey,
A
listen,
3 and out by the defense and a big play from Boda. But again, before in the first half, it was the water breaks. Now it's the end of the quarter.
Slowing the
That momentum is
Right.
gone.
It's completely gone. So, I mean, Nick, of course you and I both know, that clock doesn't say 0. It says 12.
Not at all. There's a 12 in front of those zeros.
There's a 12 in front of those zeros. And this game isn't over until we see 4 zeros. So, I've seen crazier, really. And from any level, from high school to NFL. 21 points in 12 minutes.
Now, we're not in blowout territory.
No.
It is a hefty come from behind effort, but this is a winnable game.
Right.
Has been a winnable game since the start. Seabreeze
Absolutely.
just hasn't taken advantage of their opportunities. So we've just got to see Seabreeze football play Seabreeze football.
Exactly.
They've got to take advantage of their opportunities. Don't let the referees even think about pulling the yellow flags out of their pockets.
Right. You've got to give no reason for them to even think about it. And you said it. You send me game notes every Thursday. And in your notes this week, we've got weather in the area, Amir Brown, Spruce Creek's hard start schedule, sophomore power, penalty still a factor, and then potentially a game for the shoe to steal.
Amir Brown getting around the corner for a gain of 1 or 2 yards.
And to finish that thought, you said it. This could be a game that is put on the shoe of Max Schumento. So I think that you're absolutely right. And as we see a flag here, we could see this game come down to the final seconds on the foot of Max Schumento.
It's all going to depend on what this flag is for and who it's against, and if Seabreeze can get into the end zone a couple of times. And we'll get the call from the official. Lots of unsportsmanlike penalties for the officials to have to call.
I think they've run out of other options, so they're just kind of like unsportsman, constantly. Because personally, I didn't see it. I didn't see any jawing. I didn't see any back and forth. I saw no late hits. So I'd love to see where the penalty was at.
The Sandcrabs are going to take it regardless. Spruce Creek is actually going to take a timeout, I believe. At least that's what I thought I heard the official say. Instead, we're going to resume play. 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. Boda through the air.
Pass interference.
And we've got a flag back at the line of scrimmage. That pass fell short.
If they didn't see it, that was clearly a pass interference there on number 29.
There is a flag, but it's nowhere near where the pass was thrown. And instead, it's going to be holding on Seabreeze, so it's going to be 1st down and 20.
Again, though.
Excuse me, it's going to be 1st down and about 25. Ten and a half to go in a dying 4th quarter. Seabreeze has to score on this possession to get back in this game. Boda steps up in the pocket, uses his legs, and he gets ran over at the 32-yard line after sliding.
Boda keeps it up the middle.
And he gets back close to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 2nd down and 11. But again, good presence to step up into that pocket as opposed to stepping back and around. Picking up a healthy gain with his legs rather than his arm.
Right, and again, the same thing to the left side, well, now right for us, of this Seabreeze offensive line constantly getting exposed.
Boda through the air, man is wide open. That's Tashad Troutman. Or excuse me, that might be Matthew Bossett if that's a number 13.
You were right the first time, Nick. That's going to be a Tashad Troutman 23. I kind of got mixed up, too. I was looking, and I'm like, is that a 2 or a 1?
You know, these uniforms look amazing.
Just distracted us.
But there's no numbers.
The chrome on the helmets. It's so distracting.
The outline on the number, I do apologize, is a little difficult to read from here. Boda needs to get the snap off. He does. There were too many men on the field for Spruce Creek. Instead, this falls incomplete. There was a Spruce Creek player changing on the far sideline that was 2 or 3 yards in the field of play. Instead, the officials let it play out, and Pat Brown is furious on the near sideline for that reason.
Again, ungodly officiating tonight by the referees. One guy can't get his call straight. Spruce Creek's called 2 timeouts in the second half so far. He said, oh, first time out of the half. I mean, they've got to get their act together.
2nd down and 10.
That's a false start and a half. Number 34 and number 11. Or encroachment, excuse me, not a false start. Can't call a false start on the defense. As Nick gives me the look of disappointment here because can't call a false start on the defense.
You know, I didn't want to say it. So it's going to be 2nd down and 5. And again, 9.5 minutes to go in quarter number 4. If Seabreeze can get one here, you can't take too much time off the clock. But if Seabreeze can get one here, and if their defense can keep rolling like they have been the past couple of minutes in quarter number 3, Seabreeze has a chance here.
So do we see the onside kick ability of the shoe?
Not necessarily the onside kick ability. I'm curious to see if we see the onside kick recovery ability of the rest of the Sandcrabs as a lefty Boda comes out to the left side of the pocket. Through the air, he's got a man wide open. Touchdown, Sandcrabs!
And of course, Nick, we've got to see the 2-point conversion here. But just a great rollout, great confidence, great throw by Blake Boda.
That is number 1, Chris Lewis, the junior wide receiver. Wide open on the back corner of the end zone, and Blake Boda found him for Seabreeze's first points on the board. And we're going to see Shumento. He was 8 for 8 on his PATs last week against Atlantic. Let's see what he's got here in the 20-yard PAT. Nice and easy, smooth motion for Max Shumento.
Don't call it a comeback.
We've got to see what the Seabreeze defense has in store. 9:12 left in quarter number 4. It's now a 2-touchdown game. Chance, what are you thinking?
I'll be honest with you, Nick. Like you said, that defense, they have to convert here. You've got to have another one of those, the fastest 3 and out in the entire game.
Right, because now we're in the 4th quarter. Time's a factor.
2-minute drill with 9 minutes left is pretty much what I'm looking at. The run game clearly going to be heavy by Spruce Creek. They are relying on their running back.
For 2 reasons. It's been successful and to run time off the clock.
Exactly.
Seabreeze does have 2 timeouts left. But essentially you want to save those for that final drive if you can get into the end zone another time after a defensive stop.
Right, and honestly, Nick, I really think here the onside kick needs to happen. Personally. That's from a personal standpoint, though, not a smart statistical analyst standpoint. But for me, you've got a lot of room in a team that probably hasn't seen an onside kick all season. So why not? Stack the right side of the field, push, get it to the 40, or the 50 in this case.
This one is going to be sent through the air all the way out the back of the end zone. That was a worm burner, nice and low. Players falling over each other at about the 36-yard line. Cooler heads prevail, both teams not wanting to take an excessive penalty.
Oh, no. I mean, Nick, you helped him off the field. I mean, are we going to see an unsportsmanlike conduct?
Spruce Creek working at their own 20-yard line. 9:12 left in quarter number 4. And again, exactly what I alluded to in the first quarter and pregame. This is the first time that Seabreeze has been in a close game all season. Spruce Creek, familiar in this situation. This ball comes out. There's a chance that Seabreeze might get on it. Instead, it's picked back up by Logan Garcia, and he's fallen on top of. Ends up as a gain of 1 yard. Boy, that would have been something for the Sandcrabs.
That would have been incredible. That was the opportunity that Seabreeze needed to get on. Obviously, tight situation there at the offensive line, but you've got to get on that ball, especially when you're only down 2 touchdowns now with 8 minutes left.
Garcia waiting for direction from his sideline. Handoff complete to Wilson. Take in the backfield, big stop. Brings up
Easy.
3rd down and 10.
He's got to be careful there.
And at this point, you can't do any kind of celebration, not let alone being down by 2 touchdowns.
Right.
But you've seen the kind of flags that have been flown by the officials. You can't do anything to even make the referees think about pulling out the laundry.
Right, especially when you've got them now down to almost probably going to be, looking on the board here, it says 3rd and 10. I'm waiting for an update. But if it even gets updated, we're at a 3rd and 10.
Garcia hangs onto it in the pocket, rolls out to his right, has no options. Instead, it's going to be completed. What a catch from Sebastian Moran. 3-on-1 down the field. Sebastian Moran taken down at about the 26-yard line, and that's a heartbreaker for Seabreeze. They had Garcia dead to rights in the backfield, but the secondary couldn't pick up Sebastian Moran, and he has a tremendous gain on the play.
You've got 2 men there. You've got to cover that. You've got double coverage at the 40-yard line. Standing there, why are you watching the ball? Enough time floating to get an interception there, especially after all that effort. Now down to 7 minutes and 29 seconds, which the clock should still be running. Now it is. I mean, that's just, I think that could have probably just sealed it for this Sandcrab defense. As we see them burning more time off the clock here.
And I think we are going to get a timeout by Spruce Creek. Again, the delay of game penalty is a factor. So Spruce Creek is only going to have 1 timeout left, but they are not in clock management mode.
Taking care of all your sports-related injuries to keep you moving in the right direction.
And now this deep into Seabreeze territory, we've got to see either multiple sacks or tackles for a loss, pushing the Hawks further back out of field goal range, or we've got to see a turnover or a blocked punt or something that this defense can get some sort of momentum and get Boda back on the field. Boda has momentum again. They need to use it.
Right, he's ready. He has shown his maturity now late into the 4th quarter here, even late into the 3rd, beginning of the 4th. I mean, they've got to get Boda back on the field. He's ready. I see him. He hasn't taken his helmet off since he hit the sideline. I mean, he's ready.
First and 10 at the 26-yard line after a tremendous catch and run from Sebastian Moran. Cecere Wilson going nowhere except backwards. It's going to be 2nd down and 11. Seabreeze has an answer now for Cecere Wilson. Cecere Wilson has had no traction the second half.
Right, no. Fallen into the sand trap. That senior linebacker core has shown out. What they should have been doing all game, though. This is, I mean, Seabreeze clearly, short of a miracle here.
But this is what we harped on the Seabreeze defense not doing against University. University was able to be successful on 3rd down time and time again throughout the entire game. Now Seabreeze has picked up the run from Cecere Wilson, and now we've got a flag on the play for a false start. So again, Seabreeze defense got to take advantage of the mental lapse from Spruce Creek here. 2nd down and a long way, and we may have a water break timeout.
Taking away from the Seabreeze defensive momentum. Why?
And now you give the Spruce Creek offense a chance to regroup, get together on what play they're going to run next. Now again, full transparency, all for the safety of the players, all for the proper hydration of the student athletes.
Of course.
But if I'm the coaching staff, I am pushing for some sort of change where the water break comes either at a certain time in the game each quarter or at a change of possession when the chains are moved on a first down. But something like this where now you've got a tackle for a loss and a delay a game, you've got the offense on their heels, now they have a chance to regroup. Mid-drive.
Right, mid-drive, give them a chance to regroup. So it's hard for this Seabreeze defense. Now, it was already hard to begin with. And now you've given them more time to kind of relax, set, get ready. Because, of course, the Seabreeze defense is on edge. You've got 6 minutes and 25 seconds left, down 2 touchdowns, have them at a 2nd and 15. Of course they're on edge. They're ready. They're pushing. Wouldn't be surprised to see an offside penalty here. But they're ready, and now they get slowed down, and they're hyper, and now this offense is relaxed and able to pick apart the defense.
Handoff to Wilson is complete. He's got daylight to the first down marker, but he can't get there. He's taken down 3 yards shy. So 3rd down and about 3 at the 19-yard line. So now Spruce Creek, based on what we have seen Aiden Lanier do with his foot, I would anticipate Spruce Creek being in field goal range and not necessarily going for it on a 4th down. You've got to get a stop here on 3rd down and potentially a tackle for a loss, but no one in the backfield with Garcia, so it's going to be in the hands of him. He hangs on to it, tackled right at the line of scrimmage. Where are they going to spot this ball? I think it's going to be a yard or 2 shy for a 4th down and 1. Garcia fought for an extra couple of yards. He was met before the line of scrimmage and fought for a 4th down and 1.
I think we are going to see the kicker here, Nick.
Garcia stays on the field. They're in 4-down territory at 4th and 1. Watch for the victory formation in the QB sneak here again. It's going to be a battle of will. Who wants it more? Handoff complete. I think Seabreeze stopped him. We'll wait for the official call, but I'm pretty sure Seabreeze stopped him.
Run up the middle, close to the first down yard marker.
All of this with 5 minutes left in quarter number 4. Turnover on downs, Seabreeze ball.
That means Sandcrabs first down.
So the defense, albeit giving up a large chunk of the field on a single pass, did their job, got the turnover on downs, no extra points on the board. 5 minutes left. You've got to have a couple of 2-minute drills. You've got to have a 2-minute drill, onside kick, 2-minute drill. It's feasible, it's doable, but the sophomore quarterback has to play like a senior.
I mean, you've got what? They're the 15.
Boda rolls out of the pocket. That's not what Blake Boda needed to do, getting a sack at the 4-yard line. Spotted officially at the 5, but it's going to be 2nd down and a bus ride.
And that's what Boda needed not to do. That's why Boda needed that momentum. That's why the defense has to convert. You can't blow secondary coverage and let them move all the way down the field. Their goal line defense has been incredible all game.
Boda heaves it downfield. It's completed. Chris Lewis, a massive reception at the 42-yard line.
They're giving me a heart attack up here, Nick. I'm here battering Boda.
And that stops the clock real quick while the chain gang gets set with 4:23 on the clock. Clock will get rolling here in just a couple of seconds, but as the chains get set, Boda gets the snap in the pocket, looks to his right. There's a man wide open. Amir Brown had nothing but daylight, and he dropped the ball.
Pass ball's incomplete. Brings up 2nd down and 10 for the Sandcrabs.
So it's going to be 2nd down and 10 for the Sandcrabs. But my goodness, Amir Brown would have had a heartbreaker for Spruce Creek right there.
Just wide open field. Got to catch the ball there.
but great job by Boda to find the open receiver. And again, Chris Lewis on the left side of the field gets around a quadruplet of tackles. Picks up 8 yards for 3rd down and 2. Big plays from Chris Lewis, the junior wide receiver, making plays for a sophomore quarterback right now.
And you know, it's got to be a blessing to be a wide receiver and a full safety, Nick, because you can pick apart a defense even as a wide receiver.
Boda working quick, and Chris Lewis again targeted, and that'll move the change, stop the clock for a couple of seconds. Seabreeze is into offensive territory and thriving on this quick no-huddle offense.
Where was this all game? This is what Seabreeze needed all game. We're down to 3 minutes and 33 seconds here. Just, we've got to get moving. They're doing a great job so far. He's got to target Bossett. He's looking for it.
And that might be a false start on Bossett, who was going to go in motion and instead stutter stepped right at the line of scrimmage.
Full start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains 1st down.
I think you spooked him.
Maybe just a little?
I think he heard you say Bossett needs to be targeted. He looked at you, wanted to go in motion, and you spooked him. I'm blaming you for that one.
All right, I'll take the blame for that one.
1st down and 15, still in offensive territory. Not a huge dagger, but Boda's got to get things back in motion. This long ball through the air. Bossett's wide open, and it's dropped. It hits the right hand of Matthew Bossett and drops to the. And if you can hear the crowd, oh my goodness. The sigh of relief from the opposite side of the field from the Spruce Creek fans, and the sighs of disappointment on the near side for Seabreeze.
And Bossett burns that secondary. If you're Boda, you got to get the ball in his hands.
Just a couple of inches away from touchdown number 2. Bossett, safe play to the near side.
Ooh.
Finds Tashawn Gallery. And I think Boda may have been taken down in the backfield. I think Boda's down on the field. And that's not good. He's grabbing his left ankle. That's going to stop the clock with 3:03 left in quarter number 4. And Matthew Bossett's, that's Blake Boda being tended to. And that's not good for the Sandcrabs. I didn't see what took him down, but he is grabbing that left ankle. He's got about 8 members of the training staff looking at him. His helmet is off.
Nick, and I don't think Seabreeze has a backup quarterback right now. I'm looking through our roster here, and I see Boda. I don't see a backup quarterback.
Boda gets up under his own power, but he's not going to be able to take the next snap. One of the trainers grabs his helmet for him. He's walking off to the left sideline, and something is wrong with that left ankle of the sophomore quarterback.
Probably going to see Amir Brown take a direct snap here. Probably just to run this last 3:03 out, take their chances, but I don't.
And it's so difficult to see Blake Boda being unable to put hardly any weight on that left ankle. Makes his way to the medical tent, but it's going to be all on the run game now, and that is so unfortunate for a sophomore quarterback of his talent.
Yeah, man, Boda.
And a big step up. Here we go. We didn't see a backup quarterback, but here we go, and a big pickup. That is Chris Lewis.
Rocking the 8. Who's he look like, Nick? You're wearing a pinkish purple. Lamar Jackson-esque there. The move, decided to stay in bounds. So not only a wide receiver and a full safety, looking like a quarterback.
We're seeing Chris Lewis come into a new light here tonight. Low snap is handled. The righty, this one goes through the air, and it's nearly picked off. That one slipped out of his hand. On 2nd down and 10 at the 22-yard line. Incomplete pass stops the clock at 2:42. Now, Spruce Creek is going to do one of two things here. after seeing that pass from Chris Lewis, they're either going to all-out blitz him and for being nervous, or they're going to not rush him at all and wait for either a run or try to pick this ball off. And they're going to come with an all-out blitz. Chris Lewis works to the right sideline, hangs on to it, taken down in the backfield for a loss of about 3. It's going to be third down at about 13 or 14.
Tackled by Jake Batillo.
It is third down and long. And I think we're going to have a timeout called by Seabreeze, and that is not a bad timeout to take. Only have 2 timeouts left, now 1. But with your only and starting sophomore quarterback, you want to get something going.
The 2020 Daytona Turkey Run, the largest car show in Swamp Meet, Indiana.
Right, it's terrible to see Boda go out like that, especially coming off of a drive like that. I mean, we wish him all of the best, obviously, from up here in the booth, well, the outside booth. And I can kind of...
Under the awning.
Under the awning, exactly. And I see him they're starting to put pressure on his ankle now. I've kind of got a little bit of a view up here of it. Seems to be doing a lot better than he was. Looks like he might be getting up off of the cart. I can't quite tell yet.
He's either trying to get up off of the medical board,
or he's rolling over to avoid pain.
or he's writhing in pain.
Yeah.
And based on him not really getting up, I'd say it's the latter.
Yeah.
Which is just severely unfortunate to see in any setting. But for someone of Blake Boda who finally got control of this game, to have that drive for him end in that fashion and put the game basically in the hands of Chris Lewis. So he'll roll out to his left. This one goes through the air. Is that completed? That's a touchdown.
Oh my goodness. He's injured.
I want to celebrate because that was an incredible catch, but he landed awkwardly. Dimitri Campbell can't even make his way to the sideline. He got hit going up in the air for that touchdown. And I tell you what, he landed awkwardly. That is a heck of a catch and heck of an effort. Seabreeze is back within 1 touchdown with 2:04 left. But that was a scary landing.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, Nick. Oh, my goodness. But what a catch. I mean.
On the sequel of You Got Moss.
Exactly. I was just about to say. We hope he gets back up, though, because what a catch he tried. I mean, you could see he was starting to celebrate and then just kind of collapsed.
And you could see the Spruce Creek secondary defender realize that he made contact up in the air. No fault of anyone, just a football collision. And it was just so unfortunate to see him land on his upper body. He tried to make his way to the sideline, but he was holding his back, which is no good sign. I'm glad to see it not be his neck.
Right.
But holding his mid to lower back like that in pain, I mean, you just hurt to see it.
And I didn't even see who is that?
Aside from not having clear numbers on these brand new uniforms, I heard the PA announcer say Dimitri Campbell, if that's a number 8 on the uniform. He's still down on the turf right now, possibly getting back up to a knee right about now.
He's sitting up, luckily.
And the training staff doing all their precautions. Take it slow, no quick movements. If this is a neck or back injury, take it slow, and he's going to get help off the field. Once again, unable to see what number that is. Right now, we think that is number 8, Dimitri Campbell, based on the PA announcement. All of this while Max Schumento is going to try to put his team within a single touchdown.
That's Chris Lewis.
That is number 1, Chris Lewis, who caught that ball. So who was throwing that ball?
That's going to be Dimitri Campbell, who was throwing the ball.
So Chris Lewis catching that ball from Dimitri Campbell. So now Chris Lewis out of this game with an injury right now. It's a 7-point game, but there are some heavy hearts and heavy minds right now.
Right.
And if I'm Pat Brown, I don't know. Chance, would you as a head coach say, look at your sophomore quarterback and your junior wide receiver free safety and win this game for them? Or are you telling your team to not look that way, focus on your game, and keep that momentum within their own head?
Honestly, Nick, for that drive to see a Demetri Campbell come in as quarterback, do what he did, drive them down the field, taking over for Boda, I'll tell you what, as a coach, I'd be putting the thoughts in the head of your guys of, hey, look at what your guys have sacrificed for you to put you within scoring. Just do it for them. If anything, do it for them. Get on the field, try for an onside at least.
Now that was going to be my next question to you. There's 2 minutes and 4 seconds left on this clock. Do you go for, I mean, I know your answer, but I want to hear your reason. Why go for the onside kick and not put it in the hands of your defenders who have momentum right now?
Well, that's what I was about to say, is that I would trust your defenders. Even
so
if
you're going to backtrack and go no onside kick, send it away.
No. Go for the onside kick, and regardless of how terrible the field position may be, trust your defense.
Spruce Creek is lining up for an onside kick. Shumento with a smaller step back. We're going to see an onside kick here. To the left side, it's touched, and it's recovered by Spruce Creek at the 49-yard line. Not a lot of effort from the near side of Seabreeze. No one was quick enough off that ball. It was a great kick from Shumento, and I can see Shumento's upset with his teammates right now. That was a great kick, but there was no speed off that ball for the Sandcrabs. Now it's on the hands of the defenders.
Right, and I think at this point you trust your defense because you've got, I think I see Boda, where did he go? I'm trying to find him, but I say trust your defense at this point because realistically, if your defense can get a stop, Demetri Campbell was doing a great job of moving the ball down the field outside of the one kind of tossed up lob pass moment that we saw, but we're really going to see a run game here. I think Seabreeze still has one timeout, right, Nick?
If the scoreboard is correct, Seabreeze actually has 2 timeouts.
Okay. So 2 timeouts. We've got, if we get a huge defensive stance here, Seabreeze could potentially at least tie this up and send it to overtime. But realistically, we know we're going to see run game. 100%. I don't see what the discussion's for.
There's a lot of discussion between the Seabreeze coaching staff and the officials. It's going to amount to nothing, though. It's going to be 1st down and 10 at the defensive 49-yard line of Spruce Creek. And you've got to imagine it's going to go into the hands of running back Cecile Wilson 100% of the time. It's going to be a completed handoff here. He's going to pick up 10 yards for a 1st down and stay in bounds to run the clock down. 1:52 left in this game. Seabreeze has to get a stop here in the next 45 seconds.
Cecile Wilson on the carry.
You have to acknowledge that it's going to be a run-heavy or all-run final couple of plays, which is going to run most of this clock down. Pat Brown's going to have to use a timeout here soon.
That's if they get a stop on this play.
If they get a stop on this play.
We may even see it beforehand the way things are looking right this second.
That may be a botched handoff. Instead, it's going to be handled by Logan Garcia. And again, clock is going to run down, but I believe a timeout's going to be called by Pat Brown. So it's going to be 2nd down and about 14. Clock will stop with 1:17. Seabreeze is left with one final timeout, and it's 2nd down and 14. So you've got 3 downs potentially, depending on if Pat Brown keeps that timeout in his pocket. I don't see how you can do that because you know that Spruce Creek isn't going to throw this ball and risk it being dropped and stop the clock.
Right, no, absolutely not, especially against a secondary who's been very quick to read that quarterback all night long.
So you've got to imagine that Pat Brown is going to have to use his final timeout here, assuming Spruce Creek doesn't pick up another 1st down. This is the ball game right here. If Spruce Creek picks up a first down here with only one timeout left for Seabreeze, that's it. Ball game over.
Right.
It's 14-21 in favor of Spruce Creek.
In the shotgun formation, probably going to see an adjustment here, looking for the slot receiver.
Well, we've seen Wilson go in motion at the last second. Instead, the handoff is going to be complete. Finally taken down, but it took a while. I would see another timeout by Pat Brown. I would like to see another timeout by Pat Brown. But I don't think we're going to get one. Clock is going to wind down to the final 60 seconds. Third down and long.
Brought down by a wave of crabs.
If Seabreeze can get one final stop here and call a timeout, what do you think? Do we see Spruce Creek go for it on fourth down, or do you punt it away and pin Seabreeze farther back?
Pin them back 100%. I think for Spruce Creek here, they're obviously going to take as much time as they can on this play because with only 38 seconds left, I mean, you've got to take as much time as you can, but...
Play is snapped. Wilson hangs on to it, escapes to the left side, taken down. And I don't see Pat Brown calling for a timeout. Clock continues to run with 20 seconds. Clock continues to run to 12 seconds on the clock.
That brings up fourth down.
Fourth down and the clock is still running.
What's happening?
Is Pat Brown not going to call his final timeout?
Iron ticking away, and that's going to do it for our ball game, folks.
I don't... Is the scoreboard wrong?
21-14. Hawks over the Sandcrabs.
Seabreeze players seem to be as confused as we are up here. Based on the scoreboard, Seabreeze still had one final timeout, but Pat Brown elected to keep it in his pocket.
If the scoreboard is right.
Correct. Now, based on the reaction of the Seabreeze players, I would venture to say that the scoreboard is correct.
Well, I don't know because the players can call a timeout. It's not all up to the coach. So realistically, I don't, because clearly you obviously can get a penalty if you call a timeout when you don't have one. But if I'm Seabreeze, I don't know. I mean, I'm like you said, they're just as confused down there as we are up here.
Well, regardless, if there was a timeout left, Pat Brown held on to it and wanted to keep fewer players from being injured or realized he had 14 straight points in this fourth quarter. But once again, our final score from Municipal Stadium is Spruce Creek 21, Seabreeze 14, just a single touchdown spread of difference between these two teams. For Chance Thyssen and our entire student production team, I'm Nick Gimbel saying good night from Daytona Beach. You've been watching Seabreeze High School football, brought to you by the Daytona Beach Resort. This has been a presentation of Volusia County Schools.